Imagine this. You're in a sleek electric car, quietly cruising down the highway. The seats are comfortable, the electric motor barely makes a sound. Your phone syncs instantly, and your favorite music plays in the background. But here's what you don't see. The car is listening to your conversations, recording your daily routines, and collecting detailed information about your life. Every mile you drive, every stop you make, and every detour, it's all being tracked. This data, including your precise movements, is transmitted in real time, straight to China. What seems like an ordinary drive is actually a continuous flow of surveillance. But then, without warning, something strange happens. The dashboard flickers, and the car gradually slows down until it comes to a full stop. You attempt to restart it, but nothing works. You glance around and realize every car around you is doing the same, stopping at the exact same moment. The system has been remotely deactivated, shut down from the other side of the world. To prevent such a scenario from becoming a reality, the US government is moving to block vehicles from China or those containing Chinese technology. The Department of Commerce has labeled the rising presence of Chinese and Russian-made cars on US roads as a threat to our national security. The export of Chinese electric vehicles is at an all-time high and continues to rise rapidly, with Europe being the largest market. In 2023, over 4.1 million cars were exported. Approximately 40% of China's EV were shipped to Europe, with major destinations including Belgium, Germany, and the UK. In contrast, the rise of Chinese EVs in the US has been comparatively slow. One reason for this is the high tariffs imposed on Chinese vehicles. Since the end of September 2024, tariffs on electric vehicles produced in China have increased from 25% to 100%. This has limited the number of Chinese EVs entering the US market. In 2023, only about 12,500 electric cars from China made it to the United States. One example is the Polestar 2, an electric vehicle produced in China by Volvo, which is controlled by the Chinese Geely Holding. BYD, one of China's largest EV manufacturers, does not currently export to the US. However, many Chinese automakers are shifting their focus to Mexico as a potential entry point into the US market. Vehicles produced in Mexico may bypass the steep US tariffs thanks to different trade agreements between the two countries. So now the US Commerce Department has proposed a rule to ban Chinese software and hardware in vehicles with internet connectivity, which would effectively block Chinese cars from the US market. Specifically, it focuses on vehicle connectivity systems, VCS, and automated driving systems, ADS, which connect vehicles to digital networks. These technologies include computer systems that control vehicle movement and collect sensitive driver and passenger data, as well as cameras and sensors that enable automated driving systems and record detailed information about American infrastructure. These countries of concern could use critical technologies within our supply chains for surveillance and sabotage to undermine national security. At the core of these concerns is the fact that electric vehicles continuously record data. First, they track driving behavior and patterns, including braking, acceleration, speed, and even air conditioning usage or airbag deployment in case of a crash. Second, they collect location data via GPS systems, allowing the vehicle to track speed and direction, which could potentially be exploited to map sensitive areas or track an individual's movements over time. The USA fears that China could collect data on where the driver lives or what school their kids go to, and for example, where their doctor is. Modern electric cars equipped with self-driving capabilities take this even further by using sensors and cameras to navigate autonomously, collecting immense amounts of environmental data. If such data were to be accessed by foreign entities, particularly governments, it could be used not only to spy on citizens, but also to map out critical infrastructure. In more extreme cases, malicious actors could leverage these connected systems to remotely control or disable vehicles, potentially leading to accidents or widespread disruption. The U.S. government is particularly concerned about the potential for vehicles to be deactivated through over-the-air updates, turning them into tools for political pressure. The worries are directly related to China's National Intelligence Law, which was enacted in 2017. According to this, the Chinese government can force people and companies to help with intelligence gathering. Under Article 7, Chinese companies, such as those involved in the production or management of electric vehicles, could be legally required to share data with the government, conduct surveillance, or support government operations. The case of the tech giant Huawei serves as a prominent example of this law. For years, Huawei has been at the center of national security debates in the US and other countries. Many US policymakers have viewed Huawei as an extension of the Chinese Communist Party, further heightening fears that its technology could be used for state surveillance and other malicious activities. In fact, as early as 2012, the US House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence conducted an investigation into Huawei and ZTE that revealed the company's close relationships with the Chinese government and military. During the investigation, Huawei was found to be uncooperative and unable to provide convincing evidence of its independence from the Chinese state. These findings have heightened concerns not only about data privacy, but also about the potential national security implications. And because cars today are just as connected as smartphones, they have now become the focus of similar scrutiny. The Commerce Department has opened a 30-day public comment period, allowing industry stakeholders, allies, and partners to provide feedback on the proposed rule. Meanwhile, China's foreign ministry commented on the U.S. proposal, saying that China urges Washington to respect market principles and provide Chinese companies with an open, fair, transparent, and non-discriminatory business environment. It's possible that China already has a pretty good idea of how to make use of data coming from cars. In fact, back in 2021, China banned Tesla vehicles from entering sensitive areas like military bases and airports due to concerns that the car's sensors and cameras could capture and transmit sensitive information. The fear was that Tesla's Sentry mode could record important geographic and infrastructure details. This suggests that China is well aware of the potential value of such data and how it could be used, raising concerns about what they might do with similar data collected from their own vehicles abroad. Tesla addressed these concerns by storing data locally in China. What is clear, however, is that the battle for data sovereignty and technological dominance is far from over. It's a race to secure the digital highways of the future.